Hi everyone, it's Devin and we have another CrafterWork for this month, and it's just a small little easy craft, and you can do this over and over again because they're really easy materials to get. So we're making these brown bag paper notebooks, and you just open it up and they have just a good assortment of pages for you to scribble some little notes on, and you can keep it in your pocket or in your bag. It's very easy to carry around and you can decorate it however you would like. So the first thing we're going to do is measure out half on our stack of paper. We want it to be landscape, and we're going to measure the long way of our paper, just directly halfway. So if you're just going to find 5.5 inches, mark it there. I'm going to do the same on the bottom. And then I'm going to connect the two lines. Now, if you have a nice metal ruler or you have a lot of really good arm strength, you can just rip these along the ruler edge, but I am not very strong, so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. And then you'll just stack those two stacks of paper together like so. And then we're going to turn our paper long ways as running horizontal again. And we are going to measure 1 inch up from the corner. This paper is a little too big to fit inside the paper bag, so we're just going to take 1 inch off the bottom here. I'm just going to measure on the other side so I know it's even. I'm going to draw a line connecting those two so I can follow it while I'm cutting. And I moved my arm a little bit, but I think I can figure out the guide from here. So then I'm just going to cut this inch off here. Okay, from here we're just going to fold all of our paper in half. And it doesn't have to be completely even. I'm just going to fold it in half, and you can take your ruler and make a nice crease, or you can just use your fingernail. I don't think this ruler is going to do too much to help me here, but it doesn't hurt to try. You just want it to be nice and creased. And there is your inside stack of papers. So then we're going to take the paper bag and we're going to kind of center this in here. So for the paper bag, you'll also want to think about where the flaps are. You can just cut the paper bag in half and just have one side, but I like it being two-sided because it makes it feel a little sturdier. I think I might have this folded part in the back so we can see how this looks. You can also take off some of the end if you don't like how much farther out the paper bag goes from the paper. I think it kind of like protects the paper a little bit. So we're just going to also put a nice crease in our paper bag. Alright, so now we're going to mark the inside for where we are going to place our string. And you're going to turn it sideways, and you're going to take your ruler. This does not have to be exact at all. You can eyeball this, but you're going to place 5 even dots along this crease line of the paper. So I'm just going to measure out the center. It should be around here. And then just kind of eyeball the other marks. And to make it a little bit easier for you guys to illustrate, I'm going to label my dots 1 through 5. You don't, I apparently can't write and talk at the same time. You guys don't need to do this. This is just going to be more helpful for me explaining this in the video. Okay, from here it's going to be a little tricky for this part just because the needles I was able to provide you aren't quite sharp enough to poke through all of the layers at once. But we're going to poke holes so the needle goes all the way through for each of these holes. And you can just add a few layers of paper at a time because if you're using this needle, it won't be able to go through all of them, is what I learned. Once you have all the paper poked through, you're gonna poke through the paper bag as well. So I'd say that's the trickiest part of this craft. And if you feel like you don't have everything lined up, you can put the needle through the holes again and then line it all up from there. Okay, so now we're going to thread our needle, and you can do this the easiest way to you. I'm just going to wrap it around the eye of the needle and then poke that through and pull it. And you're going to want to even out the ends of this as much as you can. Okay. So the first thing, we're going to go to hole number 3, or the center hole. And we're going to start from the inside, go through number 3. We're going to poke everything all the way through. Pull this, and we're going to leave about a 2 or 3 inch tail. Because we're going to need that tail at the end to tie everything together. So now our needle is on the outside, so to the very right of the center hole, or hole number 4, we're going to go in through the outside, right back here, and pull the thread in. And then from there, we're going to go to number 5 from the inside. We're going to go to the outside. And then from here, the outside, we're going to go back into hole number 4. And you want to try to make sure you don't get it between the, like, separate the thread. It can go between the 2 strands of thread, but you don't want it to, like, separate the thread. And you're going to pull that in. And then we're going to go from the inside of the center hole. You want to keep your tail out of it. And then from the outside, we're going to go to hole number 2, or the one right to the left of the center. Go through there. And then we're going to go over to number 1 from the inside. And then one last time, we're going to go from the outside in on hole number 2. From here, you're just going to cut off some of the extra. You want to leave a tail because you need to tie a knot. So with the 2 tails, you're just going to knot it. And if you had someone to help you keep you tight, they can put their finger there. I'm just going to try the best that I can by myself. And then you can cut off any extra. And there you have your very first book binding. You'll just be able to shut that. So what I like to do with this is I like to tape this part so it doesn't fly open anytime it gets caught on something. And I also like to tape these 2 things. If you have double-sided tape, you can stick it in there, or you could just tape this just so it doesn't open every time you need to use it. And now you're able to decorate it however you want. You can paint it with acrylic paints. I used a Sharpie on my past one, but I'm thinking for this one, I might cut this coloring page down and kind of have it wrap around it and then color on either side. I hope you enjoyed making your little notebooks, and I will see you guys next month.